So in just a few days from now, Star Wars Hunters will be having its first PC playtest over on Steam. Personally, I could not be more excited to play this game on the PC, and today I thought I'd run you guys through every detail we know so far, not only about the actual PC playtest, but just the PC version of the game in general, so that everyone is up to date heading into this very exciting next 6 or so weeks for the game. Now, starting off with the most crucial stuff, this is the actual dates of when everything is going to be taking place, both with the first two playtests for the game and then the full launch. Now, obviously, like I said, in just a few days from now on December 13th, that is when the first PC playtest will be starting, and it will run from the 13th to the 16th. I'm not too sure on the actual times just yet. They haven't said, as far as I know. Keep in mind, I'm recording this a couple of days in advance, so knowing my luck, they will tweet out the exact times 1 minute after this video goes live. But as of right now, we don't know the exact timeframes. I'm assuming it is probably just once it hits midnight sort of globally, so whatever the last country is to hit midnight, or potentially in the UK, because that is where the team are based. Now, the second playtest will then be in just under a month from that. It is the 10th of January through to the 13th of January. So again, both of these are taking place over the course of a weekend, and it's pretty much like a long weekend. It's about 4 days in total for each one, which is very exciting to see. Now, only 2 weeks or so after that final playtest, that is when the full launch is going to be happening on the 27th of January, which is about roughly 6 weeks from right now. So it is definitely very exciting times ahead. We pretty much have this playtest this weekend. About a month after that, we have another one, and then 2 weeks after that, the game is finally launching on Steam. Now, for those of you who want to get into this playtest, if you are on Steam and you want to be able to play, all you need to do is just head to the Steam store and search for Star Wars Hunters, or I will leave a link in the description as well if you just want to head to the store page through that link. From there, all you need to do is just make sure you're signed into your account that you want to play on, and then if you just scroll down a little bit on the page, you can see where you can add it to your wish list, as well as requesting access for the playtest. So if you want to play this coming weekend, and especially for the one after that too, be sure to get in and do that as soon as you can. From what I've heard, it is going to be a very high chance of getting in. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where it's only a limited amount of players. I think they're pretty much going to try and get as many people into this playtest as possible. Now, moving on, they have also shown the specs for the PC version of the game. I'm going to pop this up on screen. I won't actually go through every single spec, because obviously that is quite a lot of words there. But as you can see, there are the minimum, recommended, and then the recommended 4K specs, as you can see. Now, any of you guys who know anything about PC specs will be able to tell immediately that these specs are very, very low, which for the most part is a really good thing, because it means that pretty much any laptop or PC is going to be able to play this game. I said it on the podcast with my good friend Mark. If you guys haven't seen that, be sure to go and check out the Arena After Show over on his channel. But we both essentially said that like an 8-year-old laptop will be able to run this game, even if it's not a very good one. Realistically, any laptop or PC that just turns on and even remotely runs smoothly should be able to play this game, because the NVIDIA GeForce GT 730, for example, and even on the recommended 4K settings, the GTX 1060, like that is 4 generations ago. That is a very old graphics card, and that is the recommended specs for 4K, let alone if you want to play it in, 1080 or 1440. So that is a very good sign for anyone who wants to get in. Obviously, the game still looks pretty damn good, but it seems like it's going to be very, very easy to run. Now, before we go any further, if you guys are interested in more Star Wars Hunters content, especially covering all of this PC playtest and stuff over this weekend and in the following weeks, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There is plenty more Hunters content on the way, so make sure you don't miss out. Now, on top of obviously just getting the game on PC in general, they've also mentioned a few little changes that will be happening with the PC version of the game. It's worth keeping in mind the actual game itself will be identical. There's not going to be any like advantages on PC other than simply just like higher frame rate and stuff like that. But the actual gameplay and everything is going to be identical to the Switch and mobile versions. However, we will be getting some visual enhancements, which you can see here on screen, and they look pretty damn good. The game already looks pretty good, if I'm going to be honest, considering it's a mobile game and a Switch game. It is probably one of the best, if not the best looking mobile game that I've personally ever played. And so it already looks good. Obviously that's on a phone, but they have definitely enhanced it here for the PC version. And something else they also mentioned for a change that's coming, which I don't really get how this is a change, but they've said that there are custom keybinds, which is already doable on the Switch. I already changed my own keybinds on the Switch, so I'm not too sure why they really mentioned that, but yeah, they've mentioned that we are going to have custom keybinds, which I guess is good to know. And then lastly, we are also going to be getting a rework for Sprocket's abilities, and that is going to be in the playtest first. So that won't go live in the game just yet. We will get to play it in the playtest to see how Sprocket actually feels with the new abilities and stuff, and then those I assume will go live in Season 5. So those are some of the smaller changes coming in the playtest, and I guess the proper PC launch as well, and there will no doubt be more changes down the line. This is going to be an ongoing thing, I'd imagine, throughout like most of 2025, at least the early part of 2025. They are 100% going to be still improving the game and changing it and trying to get it up to scratch. Now, something else they confirmed is that Season 5 drops at the same time as the PC launch as well. So on January 27th, when the game is launching on the PC, that is the exact same date as Season 5's launch, which is really good because that means any completely new players who are playing on PC, they will get to jump in right at the beginning of a new season. It means they're not missing out on time spent on the Arena Pass or anything like that. They can jump right into Ranked, and they don't have to rush it or anything like that. So that's going to be really good. But on top of that, they've also confirmed with that PC launch and Season 5, we're also getting the new Kubaz Damage Hunter, who we've just seen a little snippet of. We haven't really seen anything like official just yet in terms of trailers or anything like that, but they've mentioned that we will be getting that Kubaz, and the new map for this season is going to be a Coruscant Underworld map, which is going to be really, really cool as well. I can't wait to see that because obviously Coruscant is one of the most iconic planets in Star Wars. Now, it is also confirmed that crossplay and cross progression will be in Star Wars Hunters. Now, it obviously already has cross progression between Switch and mobile, so that's no surprise at all. But yeah, once it comes to PC, if you're a mobile player or whatever, if you move over to Steam, as long as you're logged into the same account, all of your progress will be there, which is good to see. Unfortunately, though, when they've mentioned crossplay, they have mentioned it cannot be turned off. So at the moment, PC, Switch, and mobile players will all have to play against each other, which I don't think PC players are going to be complaining about, but I think a lot of Switch and mobile players will have a big issue with that, and that is completely fair, to be honest. What I will also say, though, is that in the Discord server, they have had a lot of people telling them how they feel about that, and they've pretty much already said, not only in the Discord, but on the Steam FAQ page, that they're going to be looking into changing that based on player feedback. So I'd imagine we will be getting the ability to turn crossplay off. Obviously, you can leave it on if you don't really care, but I think it is right to have that option to turn it off. And yeah, I'd be absolutely shocked if we don't get a crossplay toggle, because it could borderline ruin the game for a lot of mobile players, which is not very fun for anyone. The last thing to mention about the cross progression, though, is that cross progression in the playtests will not happen. So for me, for example, I'm level 50. I've got most of my hunters leveled up, but once I start that playtest in just a few days from now, I will be essentially on a brand new account. I'm going to imagine we'll have everything unlocked just so that people can use all the hunters, and you know, they're going to be wanting to test all of the abilities and all the hunters and maps and everything on the PC just to make sure everything's smooth. So I'm going to assume we have everything unlocked, but I'd imagine also everyone will be kind of like level 1. Either that or everyone will be literally just maxed out, but it won't be our own accounts, but that is just for the playtests. Like I said, after those 2 playtests, once the game actually launches on PC, your account will work as per usual. So keep that in mind. If you were hoping to like grind ranked and stuff in the PC playtests, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to. I'd imagine they may have a ranked mode, but it won't actually count towards your actual account's rank, for example. Now, lastly, just for a couple of little like tidbits of information, one thing they confirmed is that the game will support up to 300 frames per second, which is very, very good to see. Obviously, you're going to need a 300 hertz monitor for that. So for example, I think mine is only 120 hertz, which means I can really only play it at 120 frames. I can run it at 300 frames a second, but my monitor will only display 120. But it's still good to know. It's still good to know that it's going to be that smooth, as well as anyone who does have a 300 hertz monitor, you are going to be playing this bad boy in 300 frames a second, which is very exciting to see. This one is kind of obvious, but just to confirm, they did also confirm controller and keyboard and mouse are both confirmed for the PC. So whether you're a controller player and you want to play it on the PC just for like the frame rate and stuff, or whether you're a PC player and you want to play it on keyboard and mouse, both of those are confirmed, and both will have custom keybinds, which is good to see. Last but not least, they also confirmed that updates will roll out at the same time across all platforms once the game launches. It's currently like that on the Switch and mobile anyway, and yeah, most games do that, but some games often have like slightly staggered updates just for like stress test reasons. They don't want every single player logging into the servers at the same time. So there's been a lot of games I've played where, like, you know, PlayStation will get it at 7 o'clock Xbox at 8 and PC at 9, for example, but that won't be the case with Hunters. They will just all launch at the exact same time with each new season and each new update. So that is pretty much everything that we know as of right now about the PC launch of the game, as well as obviously the 2 upcoming playtests. Like I mentioned before, I am recording this a couple of days in advance, so knowing my luck, they'll just info dump a whole bunch of new information in the next day, and some of this will be rendered obsolete. But if you guys join my Discord server, which will be linked down below, then I'm sure I'll post any changes and stuff that we get in there as well. So that is going to do it for this one, guys. Like I said, keep your eyes peeled for all of the PC coverage. I'm going to be absolutely grinding the hell out of this game across both of these playtests to show you guys as much as I can about the PC version. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.